Guys, I wanted to show you guys how I make my own die cuts using my Cricut machine and using the Cricut design space application on your computers. So today I'm going to work on making some vintage Halloween die cuts I'm going to use them for Happy Mail, pocket letters, and other things of that nature. So I want to show you guys just how easy it is if you have a Cricut machine to make your own die cuts. So to get started, the first thing you're going to want to do is go down here to the bottom left and click Upload. And if you can see here that I have already uploaded a lot of my own designs and stuff into here. If you guys are interested in seeing how I did that, leave a comment down below. I would be more than happy to make a video showing you guys how to actually edit the images themselves. But once you have your images up here, you are just going to select that image and click Insert Images. Okay, and once you've done that, it'll appear here on your canvas, and then that's whenever you can change the size of it. And I am using this for Happy Mail and pocket letters, so I think, let's see, that looks about good right there. Okay, and then the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that it is going to be a print and cut. So I can see here the little icon, it's got a little printer, so I know it's going to be a print and cut. But there are different things. I have before done it to where I'm trying to cut something out and I didn't double check this and it ends up doing something else. But you have different options. You can cut it, write, score it, or you can use the print and cut feature, which is what I'm doing today. Okay, so we are ready to print and cut. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here to the top right, and I'm going to click Make It. And it's going to bring me to this screen right here. So this screen is telling me that it's ready for me to send it to the printer. So I'm going to click Continue. I'm going to click Send to Printer. And when I print out these that I want to use for die cuts, I put them on cardstock paper because I of course want them to be, heavier duty than just regular copy paper. And so just make sure that your printer matches up. I have also before done it where it's not my printer and I'm like, why is it not printing? So just make sure that the printer is correct. I'm going to click Print. Okay, so now I've printed these off. I just printed them off on my regular, printer that I use with my computer every day, and it printed out this page right here. So the next step is to actually take this page and put it on my Cricut mat, and I'll show you guys how I do that. Okay, so as you can see here, I have taken my paper, I've put it on my Cricut mat. You just want to really rub the paper good to make sure that it has become really tacky with the mat. You don't want it to be loose at all, because when it's cutting, it could mess up the die cut and it could end up not cutting correctly. So always make sure that your paper is stuck really well to the mat. Usually just me using my hands is just fine, but if you feel like your hands aren't doing the job, you can use a scraper of some sort. Cricut actually makes scrapers. You can even use a credit card. An old credit card, I've used that before just to make sure that you got it all down really, really well. The next step is going to be on your computer. Make sure that the machine is ready for you to load it. And you can see here by looking at my computer screen, it is telling me to load the mat. The thing that I really like about the Cricut machine is it pretty much forces you into knowing what to do. Like for instance, right now it wants me to load my mat. And so that little button is actually flashing at me, telling me that it's time for me to load the mat. So one trick that I like to do when I load my mat to make sure that it all goes in evenly and it doesn't kind of go in crooked is to put just a tiny bit of pressure on the back of the mat whenever I push my button in. Okay, Just make sure it's all on there good. You're also going to want to make sure that your dial is turned to cardstock, and it'll also show on your computer screen that you are working with cardstock. So once you've made sure that's good, once your mat is inserted into the Cricut machine, it's time to press the little Cricut button and let it do all of the work. So at this point, the machine is actually telling itself where it needs to cut. The little black lines that your printer printed out is just another way for the machine to know exactly the cuts that it needs to make. So once the machine's done, you can see right here, the little button is once again yelling at me that it wants me to push it. It's wanting me to unload the mat. That's how you know that the cuts are done. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it. It'll unload my mat for me, and I'm gonna take it to my table over here. Now, one trick I like to do whenever you're trying to get your paper off of the mat, don't ever bend the paper. Instead, you need to bend the mat. If you bend the mat, the paper will usually stay flat and it will come away from the mat, and you're not, ruining your art that you just cut out. And the mat is flexible, so you're not actually bending the mat to where it like creases it or anything like that. The mat will be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off here. And I really like, another tip is to pull it at a pretty sharp angle. Okay, you can see it came off extremely easy. Sorry about the lighting change. And so what I'm talking about is just bend the mat. So we bend the mat, you can see the die cuts start coming off themselves. And then you can just very easily pull them off. Okay guys, so here you have it. So very easy, adorable, I think, little vintage Halloween die cuts. Honestly, that took me like not even 5 minutes, and these things are ready to go. How adorable, too cute, I love it. If you guys have any questions for me, maybe that I didn't cover, please leave it down in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer it. And again, let me know if you guys want to know how I actually edit my art and get it on my Cricut design space. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe. I post lots of hauls, crafts, and stuff like that. So I'd love for you to stick around and be notified every time that I upload a new video.